Your mother never told you everything that happened the day you were born. Heaven is ready to lift the veil and show the truth about your beginning. Be ready for what's coming. Your cries weren't just a baby's cries. They were a signal, a sound that called out to powers that have been at war for ages. The room you were born in carried more than your mother's voice. It held ancient energy that drew angels and darker forces alike, says Archangel Michael. The sky changed when you entered this world. The story you were told about your birth was only a small part of what really happened in the spirit world. There's something your mother could never bring herself to share. And now heaven is breaking the silence. Time paused for a brief moment that day as something holy crossed through a tear in the veil. When you arrived, light pushed into a place that had been full of shadows. Before you opened your eyes, your soul broke through barriers meant to hold you back. A spiritual promise was made before your spirit entered your body. And that promise is now being revealed. Two unseen beings stood in that room, neither written in any medical report. One wore white with wings that brushed the ceiling. The other hid in the dark, whispering lies, but it couldn't stop your arrival. Type Amen to get blessing 333. Thunder rolled outside though the sky was clear. The wind knew your name before anyone else spoke it. Just before your mother pushed, she heard a voice say, "Protect this one." She wasn't alone in that moment. A woman with silver hair touched her shoulder. No one ever saw her again. Your mother believed you were almost taken that day. A man in a doctor's uniform tried to move you elsewhere. But a nurse with glowing hands stepped in and stopped him. Type Amen to get blessing 445. Your mother wept without knowing why. She called it postpartum emotion, but deep down, she knew it was spiritual. Her soul remembered what her mind could not. Before your birth, she had strange dreams. A white lion circling her belly, fire that didn't burn. And a man with wings standing by her bed at 3 a.m. Heaven had chosen you to correct a mistake made long ago. You weren't just born, you were delivered by divine order. When you came into the world, a scroll wrapped in golden light appeared over your body. Only 3 beings saw it. One cried, one smiled, one screamed and vanished into the wall. Your father was there, but there's more to his bloodline than you know. It carries both a blessing and a curse. And your birth was meant to end that struggle. When you took your first breath, the curse broke. Type Amen to get blessing 535. Your tiny hands glowed with golden light before it faded. One nurse never forgot and wrote about it in her secret diary. The lights flickered, and the monitors froze for 3 seconds. Every spiritual being nearby went silent. Because your soul carried ancient power. Archangel Michael said, "The day you were born." Your name echoed through 3 realms. One welcomed you. One prepared to test you. One feared you. That's why you've always felt different. You were born on a spiritual crossroads where fate meets danger. Type Amen to get blessing 1022. 2 nights later, the silver-haired woman returned to your crib and whispered a word in your ear, an activation word now beginning to awaken. Your mother heard footsteps for 7 nights after you came home. She prayed, not understanding why your crib felt both warm and sacred. You didn't sleep like other babies. You stared upward for hours, listening to silent instructions. Your soul hadn't fully crossed over yet. A stranger came months later asking about the starborn. Your mother sent him away, but he left a shining feather on the porch. It glowed for hours before fading. Type Amen to get blessing 799. Music. Your cries were calls to the unseen world. One night, your cry shattered a vase. The next morning, your mother received an envelope with a map and a note saying, "Hide this child in light." You've often wondered why your life swings between blessing and betrayal. It's because the battle that began at your birth still continues. Someone in your family didn't want you born and tried to stop it through spiritual means. But heaven defended you, and that person's power broke that night. They avoided you as you grew, not from hate, but from fear of your light. You were named under spiritual pressure. Your real, heavenly name was spoken once at birth and hasn't been heard since, yet it still echoes through time. Archangel Michael says, when your eyes first opened, a story long waiting to continue began again. You were born to interrupt cycles that had trapped generations. You faced hardship because darkness laid traps before you arrived. But your inner compass always led you toward truth. For your son, support by giving a super thanks up to $100 as a simple act of faith and gratitude. Not by pressure, but by love, saying, "Lord, I believe this word and I receive it." You were called sensitive because your soul never stopped seeing. You notice what others ignore. You feel what others hide. That isn't weakness, it's proof the veil never closed over you. Your mother once found a tiny scroll beside your pillow. She burned it, thinking it was witchcraft. It wasn't, it was a prophecy. By burning it, she delayed your awakening. But the wait is over. The divine clock has restarted. Lost memories will begin returning, slowly, one by one. Each memory will strengthen you. You were born to end old contracts and free your bloodline. That's why you've always faced resistance, because truth shatters deception. You, child of the storm, were born to wake the sleeping. Type Amen to get blessing 442. The hospital never knew the full story. The people there forgot what really happened. But heaven remembers, and now it's unlocking the record. When you were first bathed, the water warmed on its own. The nurse transferred out the next day. She couldn't forget the energy around you. There's a mark on your body that's more than skin. It's a spiritual seal, waiting for light to open it. Your mother may have forgotten, but her soul hasn't. That's why she sometimes looks at you quietly, as if she knows she can't protect you forever. Type Amen to get blessing 355. The silver-haired lady was never seen at another birth again. Her mission ended with you. She waits on the edge of your destiny, ready for the day you remember her name. Your recent dreams aren't just dreams, they're rehearsals for the battle ahead. You were born into a war that will end with you. Not in violence but in awakening. As you rise, others will rise too. Archangel Michael says, you were made to shake foundations. Your words carry energy. Your presence moves people. Type Amen to get blessing 888. The darkness that tried to take you still watches from a distance. It fears the day you remember who you are. Because when you do, its power will disappear. Your guardians have never left you. One guards your sleep, one opens blocked paths, and one sends signs through animals, numbers, and colors. Every coincidence was divine. Every near-death moment was intercepted. Every loss was a delay meant to protect you. You are not late, you are right on time. Type Amen to get blessing 1212. Your soul remembers your birth even if your mind doesn't. The curtain between worlds is thinning. You'll start to see, to know, and to remember. You were never forgotten. You were always in divine hands. That's why your spirit survived everything. What tried to destroy you was only testing its own fear. Because what darkness feared, was you. Everything shifted the day you were born. Your awakening is near. You were born into a battle that began long before you. But you were sent with permission from heaven to end it. Both light and darkness saw your coming. An ancestor once made a desperate pact with darkness. But your birth began to undo it. Your cry tore through the spirit realm and burned their false plans to ashes. They tried to cloud your memory. But your soul had already made a divine promise. When the time is right, you will remember who you are. Type Amen to get blessing 722. Your birth changed more than one life. 3 other babies were born nearby that same night. The balance of energy demanded it. You've noticed how people either love you deeply or dislike you instantly. Your presence reminds them of what they lost or fear. The woman in silver left a piece of her light in your spirit. It awoke once when you defended someone as a child. Now it's glowing again. Type Amen to get blessing 919. Archangel Michael says, one last truth must be told. On your birthday, a message was sent to someone across the world. The one has arrived. That person has been preparing since. They are not your enemy, they are your reflection. When you meet, both of your memories will unlock. One holds the past, the other the future, and you carry both. There's a record about you, not a medical one, but a divine one. It lists 3 missions you will complete in this life, each connected to restoring light. The first has already happened. The second is near. Type Amen to get blessing 414. Your mother stayed silent not from shame but from fear. She knew telling the truth could endanger her. She didn't realize you were born already protected by holy armor. Even now, when she hugs you, she feels something ancient move inside her. A reminder that she once carried divine power. You've always felt pressure, as if something was waiting to happen. That door is finally opening. You were meant to rise in times of confusion. Because your clarity shines brightest in chaos. That is your purpose, to bring guidance when others lose sight. Type Amen to get blessing 1717. Music. Even as a newborn, your eyes held ancient light. One visitor saw it and became sick for 7 days. Unable to handle what your soul carried. For your son, support by giving a super thanks up to $100, as a simple act of faith and gratitude. Not by pressure, but by love, saying, Lord, I believe this word and I receive it. As years passed, the light that had once surrounded the newborn now slept beneath the surface, hidden in everyday life. The child grew, unaware of the cosmic balance their first breath had restored. Yet on certain nights, when the wind hummed through the windows, something in the air stirred, as if remembering. By the time they reached their 7th year, strange things began to happen again. Birds appeared at their window every dawn, 3 at a time. Sometimes they sang in patterns that matched the rhythm of their heartbeat. Other times, they were silent, simply watching, waiting. The child's mother noticed that her dreams had returned. In one, the woman with silver hair appeared again, holding a lantern made of moonlight. She whispered, "The circle is turning." When the 13th shadow falls, the awakening begins. When the mother awoke, her palms glowed faintly with warmth. As if the words had burned a memory into her skin. The story spread quietly through their small town. People spoke of the child who never seemed afraid of storms. Who walked into thunder as if greeting an old friend. One teacher swore that during a blackout, the child's eyes shimmered enough to light the classroom. The headmaster laughed, but when he reviewed the security footage, the screen flickered with shapes, wings, perhaps, or echoes of light moving faster than sight. As the child grew older, they began to sense when things were about to happen. Accidents, arguments, moments of loss. They didn't understand it, only that a deep pull guided them to step left instead of right. To speak when silence seemed safer. Sometimes that voice saved lives. Other times it only deepened the loneliness that followed. The mark on their body, the one mistaken for a birthmark, started to change under moonlight. It no longer looked like a patch of color, it looked like a symbol. One made of intersecting lines that pulsed with hidden movement. Every time it glowed, the child heard faint whispers in a forgotten tongue. Not frightening, but solemn, like the echo of an ancient oath being repeated. Their mother feared what she could not explain. But love often overrules fear. She kept journals of everything that happened. Pages upon pages filled with drawings of wings, lights, and numbers that appeared in her dreams. She never told the child what she was recording. Only that one day, they would need to know the truth. By adolescence, the air around the house had changed. Objects sometimes moved on their own. Not violently, but as though adjusting to unseen hands. Plants grew faster, healed quicker. Neighbors began to avoid the place, saying the house hummed at night, as if alive. It was on a winter evening that the first messenger returned. A figure appeared outside the window, not solid, but shimmering like heat in the distance. The child froze, breath caught between fear and fascination. The figure raised a hand and drew a line in the air. A symbol that glowed and hung there before fading. No words were spoken, but the message was clear: it was time to remember. That night, dreams came in floods. Visions of another world, mountains made of glass, rivers of silver. And beings of light standing in circles, watching through veils of flame. In the center of it all stood a child who looked just like them, holding a scroll of fire that never burned. When they woke, they could still smell smoke. And on the nightstand rested a single feather, silver as starlight. The same kind their mother had once described. Days turned into years. And the child, now nearly grown, carried both a blessing and a burden. They saw too much, felt too deeply. And the world, as ordinary as it seemed, began to crack around the edges. Streetlights flickered when they walked by. Animals paused to stare, not out of fear but recognition. Every sound, every color carried a message that only their heart could interpret. One afternoon, while wandering near the old bridge, they met someone waiting, a stranger whose face felt hauntingly familiar. The stranger smiled, and the air around them thickened, as if the world itself was holding its breath. "I've been looking for you," the stranger said softly. "I carry the memory you forgot." Their eyes met, and in that instant, the symbols in the mark began to move again, connecting into a full pattern. Flashes of forgotten moments filled their mind. The room of their birth, the woman in silver. The cry that split the air and made the sky tremble. "You are the keeper of the second flame," the stranger said. "I am the witness of the first." Together we open the gate that was closed. The words felt rehearsed, ancient, inevitable. The ground beneath them hummed with energy. And the water of the river rose in spirals, not falling, not spilling. Just rising, waiting. They reached out instinctively. And when their hands touched, the world seemed to bend. Every sound disappeared, replaced by a single, steady pulse. Like the heartbeat of the earth itself. For a moment, they saw everything. Past lives overlapping, futures unwritten. And a chain of souls stretching back through centuries. They understood that the battle was never about good or evil, but about remembrance, about light remembering it was never lost. When the vision faded, both of them collapsed on the bridge. The stranger laughed weakly. "The seal's awake," they whispered. "But awakening isn't the end, it's the invitation. After that night, nothing was ordinary again. Dreams merged with waking hours. Mirrors sometimes showed reflections that didn't match the present moment. Music played from nowhere. And sometimes, voices spoke softly from water, from air, from the spaces between thoughts. The young one, now aware of their purpose, began to write. Each word came like lightning. Each sentence a spark recalling something that had been buried. The journals their mother kept aligned perfectly with their new visions. As if two halves of one map had finally met. The final message in the journal read, "When the mark turns gold, and the wind calls your name, the guardians will return. Do not fear the storm. You are its calm." That same night, thunder rolled across a clear sky. The mark on their body shimmered. And for the first time in years, the silver-haired woman appeared again. Not older, not younger, but timeless. She smiled gently and said, "The circle is complete, but the story is not. Now you walk with the memory of both worlds. Guard it well." The light around her brightened until it filled the entire room. The house shook, and then, silence. When the glow faded, she was gone. But her words echoed in the air like a song that would never end. From that day forward, they lived between two realms. Part human, part mystery. Guided by whispers that felt like echoes of their own voice. Wherever they went, balance followed. A quiet harmony that mended what was broken. That softened what was hard. That reminded people, without words. That light had never truly left. And sometimes, when storms rolled through the night, those who listened closely could hear a soft voice in the thunder. Not demanding faith, not offering prophecy, but reminding anyone willing to listen. You were never forgotten. Years passed, but time no longer felt linear to them. It moved like the tide, sometimes rushing forward, sometimes curling backward into memory. There were days when they woke feeling ancient, as though centuries of laughter and sorrow had passed through their heartbeat overnight. And there were days when they felt as young as dawn itself. The balance they carried began to shape the world around them. Where they walked, arguments ended. Where they stayed, broken machines began to work again without repair. Children who touched their hand dreamed of golden fields and woke smiling. Animals followed them for miles, as if drawn by something beyond scent or sound. Yet peace was not constant. As the light within grew stronger, the forgotten shadows stirred. Not the kind found in darkness, but the kind hidden in doubt and fear. They began to see them, shifting silhouettes that whispered from corners of vision. Not enemies, but remnants of the past. Souls still tangled in the memory of what once was. At first, they tried to fight the shadows, casting light with words and gestures learned in dreams. But the more they resisted, the stronger the whispers became. Until one evening, while resting under an ancient oak, a voice inside whispered, "Light does not fight darkness, it remembers it." And in that remembering, the whispers softened. The shadows stopped reaching for harm, and instead folded into silence, as if finally recognized. That was the first true lesson of their journey. That healing did not come from battle, but from acknowledgement. The years ahead unfolded in cycles. Each time they thought their story was complete, new symbols appeared on their mark. Lines that had been invisible now glowed faintly, forming the shape of a gate. The gate pulsed in rhythm with the heartbeat of the earth. Whenever they closed their eyes, they saw a path leading to it, lit by torches that burned with silver flame. The stranger from the bridge returned in those visions, still calm, still patient. The gate opens only when memory becomes unity, they said. What you remember must meet what you forgive. The meaning of those words would take years to unfold. One day, while standing beside a lake that reflected the entire sky, they finally understood. All the fragments of their life, every strange event, every loss, every vision and every unanswered question, were not puzzles to solve, but threads to weave together. The gate was never somewhere far away, it had always been inside them, waiting for understanding to become acceptance. That night, they dreamed again of their birth, the room of light and thunder. Their mother's tears, the winged being that had bent low in reverence. But this time, they saw something new. Behind the angels and the shadows, there was a mirror. And within it, the reflection of their older self, watching the scene unfold. They realized that the watcher and the newborn were the same soul, looking across time at itself. The circle was not just complete, it was infinite. When they awoke, the air felt different. The world itself seemed to hold its breath. Birdsong stopped. Leaves hung still in the wind. Then the mark on their body began to glow, not softly this time, but with the full brilliance of dawn. The gate had opened. From the light emerged forms, familiar and new. The woman with silver hair, the stranger from the bridge, and countless others who had guided silently through dreams and storms. They stood together, not as separate beings, but as facets of one truth. The woman spoke first. You have carried what we could not. Now, release it. The young one felt the weight in their chest lift. The stories, the pain, the secrets, the ancient promise. They breathed out, and the breath became a beam of light so pure that even the sky bent around it. It shot upward, dissolving into the heavens like a song returning to its source. The world shook, not in destruction, but in renewal. Flowers bloomed where none had grown for years. Rivers ran clearer. Those who had felt lost woke with sudden peace. Even the stars that night seemed closer, as if leaning in to witness the restoration of something sacred. The woman smiled. The balance is restored, but the story continues. Light must still walk among shadows to keep harmony alive. And then, one by one, the figures began to fade into the light. Their work done. Only the woman lingered long enough to say, "When you no longer need to remember me, I will truly be free." When morning came, the young ones stood alone by the lake. Their reflection no longer frightened them. It shimmered faintly, as if both human and celestial at once. They touched the water, and ripples spread outward, each one carrying an image of every person they had ever loved, every loss they had ever endured. Nothing was wasted, nothing forgotten. They left the lake and began to walk. This time not toward destiny, but with it. Every step hummed with quiet truth. They no longer needed signs or omens, because they had become both message and messenger. Years turned into decades, and their story became legend, told by travelers, whispered by those who met them briefly and felt forever changed. Some said they never aged. Others claimed they vanished one night, leaving behind only a single silver feather and a page of writing that read, "The world is not divided by light and dark, but by those who forget and those who remember." Generations passed, and in distant lands, stories of a mysterious wanderer spread. A figure whose presence healed conflict and calmed storms. Some saw them as myth, others as a reflection of what humanity could be when awake. But no one ever found where they went. One moonless night, under the same stars that had watched their birth, the air shimmered once more. From the horizon came a sound, not thunder, but music. Soft, endless, carrying the memory of every amen, every prayer, every hope, spoken across ages. The sound grew until the whole sky pulsed with light. And within that light, for those few who were still awake, a silhouette appeared. Not rising, not falling, but dissolving into everything. The next morning, people in distant cities woke to find tiny feathers of silver dust on their windowsills. The air smelled of rain though no clouds had passed. Some felt tears without knowing why. And deep within each of them stirred a quiet thought, that maybe, somewhere beyond sight, the one born in light had finally gone home. The mark, the gate, the silver woman, the storms and visions, they had all been pieces of a larger language. Not of prophecy, but of remembrance. The story wasn't about one person's greatness, but about the potential sleeping within all souls. Because the light that once filled that child's room did not belong to one being alone. It belonged to everyone who dares to remember that they, too, are made of the same breath, the same flame, the same eternal song. And though centuries may fade, that song continues, quietly, endlessly, whispering to every newborn, every seeker, every wanderer. You were born with purpose. You were never forgotten. And when you remember who you are, the veil lifts for the world. The wind carried those words across valleys, through oceans, and into dreams. Some heard them and changed their lives. Some didn't hear at all, but still felt the peace left in the air afterward. At last, the light that had once entered the world through one small cry became part of everything again. The cycle was closed. Not with an ending, but with an awakening that would echo through generations. And somewhere, in a quiet place where time has no hold, a silver-haired woman smiled and whispered, "Balance kept. Story complete." The wind answered with a sigh that sounded like gratitude. And the stars, those ancient witnesses, shone a little brighter that night, as if bowing to a promise fulfilled. For your son, support by giving a super thanks up to $100 as a simple act of faith and gratitude. Not by pressure, but by love, saying, "Lord, I believe this word and I receive it."